Hey, good morning. It is Saturday, March 30th, 2019. Just in case you didn't know, it's been 2019 in all of these videos. And look, new hair. Feeling good about it. I really, it's strange. I feel more myself when my hair is darker, and I don't really know why. I mean, there's no one in my family with exceptionally dark hair. Um, you know, my dad has kind of blondish brown hair. My sisters are both more blonde. I was always just a little bit darker than they were in terms of hair color. But I don't know, this dark color just really does it for me. I wonder if you can see, I mean, in the no light, it looks very dark. Here with the light, it looks like maybe a little bit of a reddish tint, but there's actually just a purpley tint in it. And I'm very excited about it. I feel a little bit better about everything now that my hair is back to an even color. We've hidden the gray hairs that have been there for many, many years at this point. So yeah, I had a good time getting my hair done yesterday. So hair done, check. Feeling good about it. Long and dark. Matches my scarf real nice. I wish this section of hair would grow. This section of hair doesn't grow. It's just stopped there. But there it is. This side has all grown. So yeah, Saturday, I slept weird last night. I was falling asleep and then a fire alarm went off, which was super annoying. And then I'm like sitting on my pillows weird right now. So yeah, fire alarm went off sometime, I think it was like 11-ish, and I was just getting to the point of falling asleep. I went to bed at like 10:30. And I was just, I think really had hit my, like I'm sleeping. And so for a second I thought it was my alarm going off, but then it was the fire alarm. And it wasn't a long fire alarm. We were able to come back up really quickly. So that was nice. But it just kind of threw me off a little bit. And it took me a while to get back to sleep. And I woke up still basically at the same time this morning, just a little bit later. I woke up at 6:30 instead of 6. My nose is very itchy this morning. And yeah, so I'm feeling just a little bit weird. And I can feel that my sleep was a little bit strange, but I feel fine. My nose is so itchy. So yeah, Saturday I am going to go run a few errands right now. It's nice and sunny out and I'm excited to do that. And then I'm going to come back. I'm going to put the final touches on my law and regulation paper. I need to restructure one small part of it and finish the citations, which are like 60% there, maybe 70% there. So I'm going to do that. And then my plan with the papers is everything is done now at this point. Then my plan is I'm going to let them all sit for the week that my dad and sister are here. And then once they're gone, I'm going to kind of one by one read through them. I'll probably just do like one a day and submit them then. I think it's important just to give things some time and space. You read things so much, and so yeah, like as you're writing that, you lose kind of some context about what's happening in them. So I'm going to give them a week off, and then if I feel good about them at that point, I will submit them and just get them done. And then so once I do that today, I'll go for a run, life, blah, blah, blah. And then starting tomorrow, it's revision for my 2 exams. So tomorrow I'm going to work out kind of a structure and a plan for myself, make sure I have my materials ready to go. I just remember something I need to print, but I can take care of that on tomorrow or on Monday. And yeah, and also tomorrow or Monday, super massive cleaning of the dorm room here. I've been kind of things are not dirty, but they're getting a little messy. And as a girl with long hair, who also keeps her window open, there is one hair that just starts to accumulate no matter how many times a day I sweep, and it also just starts to get dusty pretty quickly. So gonna clean and feel good about that. That's my weekend in a nutshell. So today I was thinking about my sister texted me the other day, like 2 or 3 days ago, that she texted me a Facebook memory that she had of her waiting for me outside of customs at London Heathrow. It would be 5 years ago, 2 or 3 days ago, whatever day it was. I think it was the 27th. And so I am celebrating my 5-year London anniversary of the first time I visited London. And that had me thinking, so first of all, that first trip, I got stuck in customs because they had to shut customs down. So we were all just kind of there waiting in the queues. And there had been some sort of accident, someone who had been through customs, but not, I'm forgetting some of the details. Maybe I'll ask Becky. But yeah, like, so they had to close it and someone had fainted or something, and they had to like get an ambulance and put her on the stretcher. So we were just waiting in line in customs for like 40 minutes or something crazy. I was like, this is an interesting welcome to the UK. And I was trying to get on the Wi-Fi to text Becky, be like, I'm here. They just won't open passport control. So yeah, that was just a fun, interesting first memory of London, especially when you're super jet lagged. But so it had me thinking about, I have, and I think a lot of people have this, but I have a particularly strong attachment to places, and in a way where it's like my attachment to them is always about the first time, like I visited those places for the most part, or like maybe the strongest memory I have of that place. So like I don't have a particular time of year where I love maybe Wisconsin more or less. I mean, in the fall generally, but I live in Wisconsin. I've lived in Wisconsin most of my life, so it's hard for me to like have a particular like nostalgia for just one time of year in Wisconsin. But I have a very particular nostalgia for London in the springtime and in the last couple of days as it's been warmer and sunnier, which was my experience when I was here 5 years ago. It was warm and sunny and things were blooming. I just had like, it's just like this feeling of like contentment and this feeling of like, this is such a beautiful, wonderful place to be, and kind of all of the possibilities that exist right now. And I have a similar connection, strangely enough, with New York City around this same time. I think the first time I went to New York City was in the summer, but I don't remember anymore. I think it was the summer. It had to have been because Becky was still in school. But I have a nostalgia for New York around like April, May time, because most years, in the last several, I've gone to New York in April or early May, because Becky's birthday is May 9th, so I've always tried to go around kind of her birthday time to be there with her and have a reason to celebrate and enjoy the city. So I've been to New York a lot in the springtime, and I have a particular nostalgia for New York around this time of year too, where it's not too warm, but it's sunny, and there's just this very clear transition from winter to springtime. I also think it's interesting because Wisconsin to me doesn't often have spring so much. Usually it kind of comes quickly all at once because it goes from like cold to warm, and it usually happens pretty late in the year. And I feel like here in London it's been a slower build, and I think sometimes it's a slower build in New York City. But I don't know, it had me thinking about when I am ever nostalgic for a place, I am nostalgic for that place at a very specific like climate and season. I'm not generally just nostalgic for Tulsa, but like when I think about like, oh man, I'd love to go to Tulsa, it'd be like, well, I went to Tulsa last year, and I'm very nostalgic for like despite it being like 90 and humid every day. Like, I'm nostalgic for that particular feeling of Tulsa. Not so much for the experiences I had or the places I stayed, but like for the way the kind of like the elements made me feel while I was there. And so it just has me thinking about that specifically here in London, and how 5 years ago there was just like some very distinct memories I have, walking through St. James Park. I think Becky was at work. She was interning at Parliament or something that day, but I walked through St. James Park by myself, and it was sunny and things were blooming and there were geese and swans and everything everywhere, and it was just so beautiful. And then at the end of St. James Park, you come to Buckingham Palace, and kind of, I mean, they also have a lot of flowers and things like, well manicured over there, and it just this very particular memory that I have of London. And then there's also this other memory of kind of like sunset time, walking with Becky back from the tube station to the place where she was living. And I just I can picture the road. I have no idea. I wouldn't be able to tell her. Maybe she could like walk me down the different roads she walked down, but yeah, it was a little bit hilly, it was like a cobbled road, some beautiful houses, everything kind of like in the process of blooming, in this like beautiful sunset. And I have a particular vision of that moment. And when I think of London, for some reason, those are the two moments I think of first. And kind of like, those are like the experiences that connect in my brain. And I think it's interesting the way we all interact with places differently. In my first interaction, in memory of places is often around kind of like the weather and the elements all combining together to give me a lasting impression of the place. And when I think of places, there are certain places I think of at certain times of year. Like Boston has a strong summer connection for me, and DC in the fall has a strong connection, and Wisconsin in the fall is, my all-time favorite, but that's a separate thing altogether. But yeah, so I don't know, certain places just evoke certain things for me at certain times of year, and my 5-year anniversary of London has me reflecting on that. So it's been 5 years since my first visit to London. 5 years later, here I am living in London for a year, experiencing a different but not dissimilar spring, where I feel joy and contentment and appreciation for a lot of it. So that's what's on my mind today. I rambled for a long time today. I'm going to end it here. Have a wonderful Saturday. Make good choices.